Hello and good morning. Welcome back to school. And hey, I wish we were all back together. I was hoping that after Semana Santa and after the holidays, well, things would go back to normal, but I guess not. And so we're still in the house. We're still doing classes from the house, from my house to your house, and from Asun's house to your house, and from everyone else's, from Juan Antonio and everybody. So we need to have patience with each other, and we need to work together, and it'll be okay. Okay? The question is, we have to learn to adapt, and actually, I know it's really difficult, and I know that everyone has to put in more hours, and we have to try harder, and we have more distractions, but actually, when you have to study at home, and when we have to teach at home, and we have to use the new technologies, and we have to use a mobile or a computer or a camera, well, we actually grow. We grow in different ways, and we learn different things. And you are going to learn more how to work on your own. And that is actually a really important ability that you will need to have for the rest of your life. And so in one sense, yes, this is very difficult, and we have to do things that maybe we're not as comfortable with as much as going to the classroom and being with our friends in the classroom and learning in a classroom environment. But this situation can create in you other areas of growth, and it can stretch you to make you an even better student, and someone who is able to learn better independently and on your own. You're going to have to learn how to focus. You're going to learn how to discipline your time. You're going to have to learn how to cut out distractions in your life. We've been working with All About the USA, and that's been our book. We've been doing some reading, we've been doing some activities. You can see the other videos that I've done before of reading and the activities. Many of you are doing the activities. I would say almost all of you are doing the activities, but not all of you are, okay? There are several of you who have not been participating with those videos. I want you to participate, okay? If I ask you to do the activities, do them. You need to open the video in YouTube, and you need to make the comments. You need to answer the questions that I ask you. I notice when you do it and when you don't, okay? So I want you to do that. So for example, in All About the USA, we have the review of chapter 5 and 6 with activities 3 and 4. For example, the color, if we go to 3:1, it says the Colorado River cut through 1.5 kilometers of rock to create what? The Grand Canyon. 1/5 of the world's fresh water flows through the area of what? Niagara Falls. General Sherman, the world's biggest tree, is in the what? Sequoia National Park. Is the lowest part in North America. Death Valley. Has got rocks with beautiful colors, the artist's palette. Okay. Choose the correct answer. The Grand Canyon is in the state of where? California or Arizona? Arizona. Redwood trees are important because they absorb huge amounts of what? Carbon dioxide, or minerals. course, they absorb both. But why are they important? They're important because they absorb carbon dioxide. President Roosevelt or Lincoln made Thanksgiving a national holiday. Lincoln. It's important to eat hot dogs or turkey it's common to eat hot dogs or turkey at a Thanksgiving meal. I mean, that's easy, guys. That's just easy. Turkey. You can see famous trees or cartoon characters at the Macy Thanksgiving Day Parade. Well, they have a picture of it right here in the book, so it's obvious. Cartoon characters. And Americans celebrate Independence Day or Thanksgiving with picnics and barbecues. Hello! 4th of July, Independence Day. Very obvious. Okay? Okay, now we are going to do Chapter 7. Chapter 7, Famous Americans, the Wright brothers, Wilbur and Orville. You're going to read about J.F. Kennedy, a very famous U.S. president. Martin Luther King, a man with a dream. Again, he was not a president, but he was a very famous defender of people's rights. He fought for the rights of the African American community within the United States, and he was a champion. He was a champion for the civil rights, and he defended the civil rights of the African American community. And he was assassinated. Very sad loss for the United States. There was a time in the States when a lot of famous people were assassinated, and for example, J.F. Kennedy, John Lennon, Martin Luther King, and just tragic violence, just violence in the 60s. It was a real difficult time in the United States of social unrest, civil unrest, and change. But I believe that today we can see some of the real benefits of what he fought for in the 60s. He fought for civil rights, and he changed the American system. He did good. So I want you to read chapter 7. Okay? Read chapter 7. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to look in your book. Take out your English book, New English in Use. We're in New English in Use, and we are in Unit 6. Unit 6, and we're going to look first at page 78. Okay? We're going to look here on page 78, and we're reviewing the vocabulary. Okay? We're reviewing the vocabulary, and what we want to do is we want to look here at the different words that are in color. Okay? So let's look at some of the words that are in color. First, let's listen and repeat. Okay? Listen and repeat. Number 1, clean up. Repeat. Clean up. Pick up. Pick up. Listen. Harm. Repeat. Harm. Protect. Protect. Damages. Damages. Throw out. Throw out. Recycle. Recycle. Reuse. Reuse. You know, we have the different 3 different words, you know, reduce, reuse, recycle. No, those are the 3 different words there, the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, recycle. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Destroy. Repeat. Destroy. Plant. Plant. Waste. waste, and unplug. Unplug. Okay, now we have some different words here, what they mean. Clean up. You know, we can use the word clean up in all kinds of different areas of life. You clean up your room. You need to clean up your desk. Clean up the kitchen. Here it says it's time to clean up our neighborhood. It has the idea of getting rid of the bad and making things pleasant again. Okay? Pick up. Now, pick up is another one that is interesting. When we use the verb pick, for example, to pick fruit. If you pick fruit, you go to the apple orchard and you can pick apples. You know, pick apples is to pick apples from the tree. Pick comes from the tree. We take it from the tree and then we put it in the basket. Pick. Or we also use the word pick like the verb choose. Pick me. Choose me. I want to play with you. No, it's to pick. But when we say pick up, it's to get something, it's usually to get something from the ground or from the street. Pick up the rubbish. Pick up the plastic. So maybe there's plastic on the ground and we pick it up. Okay? Or sometimes we do use the word pick up as well with, can you pick me up at the school? And so maybe someone needs to come and pick me up, come in the car to take me to the doctor or to take me home. Pick me up. That's the other sense of this word. But here it is, pick up the rubbish. So rubbish, there's papers, there's things that shouldn't be on the ground or in the park, maybe plastic, maybe metal, maybe candy wrappers, beer cans, beer bottles, and we need to pick them up. Pick up the rubbish. Harm. It's when something hurts something else. Plastic in the sea harms the fish. If you can harm if you kick the wall because you're in quarantine, you harm your foot. No. Protect, that's the idea of like a castle where people inside are safe, right? It's to keep safe. Keep something safe. Protect. Damages. This has not so much of to animals, but to something. If your car is in an accident, the car is damaged. Here it is, damages the environment. Okay, it makes the air quality poor, or it makes the ground quality poor. It hurts, it damages. Throw out. You need to throw out the rubbish, and you need to keep the valuable things. Don't throw out the plastic with the rest of the rubbish. You need to put the plastic in the recycle bin. Okay? Throw out. To put something in its place, to put it in the rubbish bin. Recycle paper. Recycle. To recycle is to put it in the bin for reuse in a different substance or in a different way. You know, we can recycle paper and then it goes to the recycle facility and then they make other products with that. Reuse is to find a different use for something. Maybe with a glass jar where there was jam or jelly. Maybe you could use the glass jar jelly for drinking tea. No, you can reuse that item. Use it in a different way. It's not changing what it is. It's staying in the same form. It's not taking it to the recycle facility, but it's using it in a different way, using the same thing, but in different use. Destroy, eliminate. No, destroy. Destroy is to change something in such a way that it cannot be used in the same way again. Or to plant. Plant a tree, plant a bush, plant a flower. This is not just a noun. Here it's used as a verb, to plant a tree. Okay? We can also use the word plant as a noun. This is a plant. A tree is a plant. That's a noun. But we also use it as a verb. Plant a tree. Waste is to use in a bad way, or don't use it to its full potential, right? Don't waste your time. Well, this is don't waste energy. When you have energy, use the full potential of it. Turn the lights off. My wife was always telling me, Ben, turn the light off. Why do you always leave the light on? Well, I'm in America, and Americans always leave the lights on. No, don't waste energy. Okay, turn the light off and unplug, right? Plug in the TV, unplug the TV. Plug in the video game console, unplug the video game console. No, plug in the computer, unplug the computer. Okay, plug it in, connect to the electrical unit. Which ones are negative? Which verbs here are positive? Which verbs here are negative? Okay, well, let's look at the positive ones. Positive, clean up. Yeah, that's positive. Pick up. Sure, I think pick up's positive. Protect is positive, right? To keep something safe. That's very positive. Recycle, positive. Reuse, positive. Plant. I'd say plant is usually in a positive sense. Sometimes I guess it could be used in a negative way. Waste is always negative. Unplug could be positive. I guess it's fairly neutral. Now, negative verbs. Negative, harm, very negative. Damage, very negative. Throw out tends to have a negative connotation, but not necessarily. It's more neutral. Destroy, very negative. Very negative. Waste, very negative. Okay? Okay, so now let's go to the next page. We're going to go to page 79, and we're going to go into exercise 8. Exercise 8 of page 79, and this is pronunciation. Now, sometimes when we work in pronunciation, we work with the words, and we're very careful that we pronounce the words very clearly. But in the real world, when you really are speaking in English or listening to English, many times we don't pronounce the words clearly. Sometimes we will pronounce the words, we'll use the words in a bit of a Murciano sense, no? And so maybe we won't pronounce the end of the word in a clear way. And that can lead to confusion. And that's why you really need to pay attention to the context in general of the sentence, so that you know kind of where the conversation is going. And if you don't quite understand a word, you get the gist, or you get the general idea of where the conversation is being directed. Okay? So let's look at, let's repeat these words in exercise 8 first, and then we'll kind of review this. B, beach. Now obviously the first consonants are the same, B, and then the verbs are pronounced in the same way. The vowels, I'm sorry. The vowels are pronounced in the same way too, but it's the end of the word of beach that obviously differentiates between a B and a beach. But I think obviously you can say, I was laying on the beach. You would never say I was laying on a bee, right? Or you would never say, you could say a bee stung me, but you would never say a beach, the beach stung me. But you could say a beach stung me while I was lying on the beach, right? So you have to pay attention to context. Another one, number 2, par, park. Par, park. Now obviously these are very different when you pronounce them separately, but if you say, I was par 4, I was sitting at the park. Well, when you use it in the sentence, you don't really hear the K so much because we tend to go over it. I was sitting at the park. It's not park, park. Key, keep. Do you know where my keys are? Keep the keys in the car. Keep the keys in the car. Key, keep. Key, keep the keys in the car. When I say keep the keys in the car, keep the keys in the car, you don't really hear the P so much. Keep the keys in the car. My lips just kind of close. It's very soft, so you have to pay attention, but you also have to pay attention to the context. Keep the keys in the car. Pain, paint. Pain, paint. The only difference is the T, but many times the T isn't very strong. Okay? Pain, paint. Can you paint the wall for me? Many times we say it in the paint the wall for me. Paint the wall orange. Paint the wall, paint. Many times when I'm saying it in a sentence, I don't say paint the wall orange. No, paint the wall orange. So you have to be careful. Okay, listen for it, but also pay attention to the context. May, make. May, make. I may make a car, or I may make how could I use this? I may make a video tomorrow. I may make a video tomorrow. I may make a video tomorrow. No, we don't pronounce so strongly the consonants. I may make a video tomorrow. Can you hear the make? Make. Build. Oof. This one gets very confusing because many times we don't pronounce the D very strong. No, it's not a very strong consonant. Build. I'm going to build a house tomorrow. I'm going to build, build a house, build a racetrack with my kid, with my son, Benny. No, build. Fly, flight. When's your flight? Many times we don't do that, the T, really strong, flight. Sometimes we do it strongly, but other times we don't, and so you have to pay attention. Flight. Because we use it with other words in the sentence, we talk fast, and so we start taking away the endings, or we start taking away the strong T, When do you fly? When's your flight? Okay? Next one, listen and repeat. Pay attention to intonation. This is in number 9. Okay, number 9, pay attention to intonation. And this is when we're talking in conditionals. This is when we're using conditionals. If we clean up the beach, people will keep it clean. If we clean up the beach, people will keep it clean. Unless you want these, I will throw them out. Unless you want these, I will throw them out. So we have the condition, consequence. Condition, consequence. Is to make sure that you have both parts connected together. I won't go to the park if you don't come, right? I won't come to the park, condition. I won't come to the park if you don't come. No, I won't go to the park is the consequence. If you don't come is the condition. I'm sorry about that. If we recycle all our clothes, if we recycled all our clothes, we would protect the environment. Okay, that's the consequence, the conclusion. If we recycled all our clothes, we would protect the environment. Okay, so there we have some intonation. There's also extra practice on page 161 in the appendix. I think 4 or 5 different sentences that you could also do the same exercise, okay? Just remember that in the first part we go up, and then in the second part we go down. We conclude, okay? Okay, so let's also go to page 77. 77, this is a speaking exercise, and we're using first and second conditionals. First and second conditionals, and this is talking about situations. Now, when we use the first conditional, we're usually talking about consequences to actions, right? We're talking, if I do this, then I'm gonna have this consequence, and if I do this, then I have this consequence. So we could use different ones. We can kind of skip over the school one, but if I visit China one day, so the if, and then the I, and then the visit is the verb in the present. No, if I visit China one day, and then the consequence is using the future, the will, okay? If I visit China one day, I will go to Shanghai, okay? Or if I go to China if I visit China one day, I will see the Great Wall, okay? And so that's talking about situations. Why don't you tell me what you will do if you visit New York someday, or if you visit Chicago someday, or if you visit London or Los Angeles or Dublin, okay? Tell me. Make a comment. Use this opportunity to tell me. The other one is in the second conditional. The second conditional is more of an unrealistic situation where you're talking about something that isn't your reality right now. In the first part, with the condition, we use the verb in the past, and then in the answer, or in what we say is the consequence, we use the would. Okay, so if I moved to Copenhagen, which I'm not moving to Copenhagen, I would ride a bike. You know, or if I lived in Amsterdam, I would live in a houseboat. Okay, or yeah, and so it's an unrealistic situation, but it's what we use. Okay, what we do in an unrealistic situation, or what I would like to do. Okay, well, we'll see you next week. Type in some comments about these conditionals. Okay, some circumstances for you. Goodbye.